Welcome everybody and good morning. Today's a special day for we check out Positive Grid's Bias FX, and I found Hershey's Cookies and Cream in Sweden. Let's hear it in a mix. Let's check out how I use bias effects in the mix. Alright guys, well let's get right to it. So we're going to start off with the rhythm guitars. I kept it pretty straightforward, pretty much how you would use a setup on stage or anything. So I got a gate, kept things cleaner into a clean boost. The clean boost goes into an overdrive, into the splitter. The splitter you can use to send the signal left or right or to two different amps. But I sent the signal left because this is going to be my left guitar. Small EQ into the Mesa Boogie, because Mesa Boogie is just the best. You just can't go wrong. So after the Mesa Boogie, I'm going into a mixer. I have it set at pan 0 because I'm panning in Logic, so I didn't need to do it twice. After that, I have an EQ. You can see I kind of take down the low mids, not too much, just a little bit. And I have a high and low cut filter going on. But I also had an EQ come afterwards. You can see I use a FabFilter Pro Q2. I really like how the interface and everything is, so it was nice. The reverb, I have it only set up at about 2% of the mix. I left the width, the stereo right where it was at. The high and low frequencies, I have them dropping down just so it kind of cleans up the whole mix a little bit. I use the Room Studio A if you kind of care to check that out. Anyways, let's go ahead and give a left guitar here, and then I'm going to bring in the right. Alright, sounded pretty good to me. So I didn't try to do too much on them. I tried to just do two simple takes, left, right. I cut out where I had that little break in there because it sounded good when you cut it all away. Okay, on to the ambient guitars. Let's start with the left one. Again, they're actually both using the same patch, so we can do it all right here. The patch, again, is pretty straightforward. I have a gate going into an EQ, and that goes into my splitter box. But I actually have this going into both amps, left and right, for both my left and right guitars, because I'm not panned all the way, so it kind of gave a really nice stereo effect, nice and wide and open. I used a boost in front of these. I really was tempted to use Mesa Boogie all the way because I just really love them. You just can't go wrong. So I ended up trying to use the modded Plexi here. It sounded really good. Boost in front of any kind of amp is pretty standard. You can see I used two different cabs here. I think it was the 212 Jazz Clean on one, and then the 412 Green 25s on the other. And for the delay, I have a dotted eighth note on one side, and then I have a quarter note on the other. Pretty standard, sounds great. The mixer, I have them pan 50-50, so you have the amps separated. And then I actually have on my left guitar, I have it delayed, the right side delayed 0.1 millisecond, and on my right guitar, I have the left side delayed 0.1 millisecond. Kind of gave a washy effect to it, helped add to the ambient, what I was going for there. Anyways, in the EQ, pretty similar to the rhythm guitars, swept out kind of the low mids there. I boosted just a little bit here in the higher mids, or highs, whatever you're calling it. Kind of help them kind of be a little more vocal, I guess. The mix, I have the reverb a little bit higher up, probably I think about 8% is what I used here. And I have the stereo width cranked way up because it sounded good. And then I did the same thing, brought down the low and high frequencies just a little bit. Here I use the Room Studio B. All right then, let's go ahead and give the left a listen, and then I'm gonna go ahead and bring in the right. Alright, excuse a little mistiming in that playing right there. I didn't care enough to fix it. I just kind of threw it all together. So it was what it was. On to the guitar solo. Okay. The guitar solo, I tried not to do too much with it as well. Crazy. Tried not to use Mesa Boogie again. I used a clip shifter after. Kind of helped it sit on top of everything. Okay, so I have same thing, gate into a boost into the drive. It sounded good. The stereo box splitting left and right because obviously I want my lead guitar kind of down the center. I used a Soldano on one side and I used a 5150 on the other. I didn't use these EQs, I was going to, but I liked it without. Delays, I have the same delay setup, but I kind of use this delay instead of the other one. It was kind of more of a boss delay. The Ambient Guitars, that certain delay actually has like a chorus effect on it too, so that was nice for them, but here I just wanted just a simple delay. Into the mixer, I have them panned. I use 19, I don't know, just to be funny I guess, but so I kind of have them coming more down the middle. No delay on either side because yeah, I want it to be together. The EQ, I brought down all these lows, kind of the really high piercing highs because I didn't want those higher notes to sound nasty. High and low cut frequencies as well. Reverb, I used a little less than the Ambient Guitars. I think like 6% I want to say. Stereo width cranked up a little more. The output on the high and low frequencies is also dropped down just a hair. Here I use Room Studio B. Alright, let's go ahead and give that a listen. Okay, and let's see if we can give it all a listen. Yeah, sounded great in the whole mix together. I did, we'll go real quick over it. I did use bias effects for the bass as well. I kept it pretty much what you do with a bass in metal or rock. More metal. I used a gate into a compressor, splitter again, splitting to my left and right. This left side though is going to be my distorted bass, so I have it going into kind of the Ibanez TS9 style into a 5150. The EQ, I brought down all the lows, the really highs, just so I have that distortion guitar sitting in the middle. I have it panned here in the center. The right guitar was a GK800. And then I took out all the highs, so I just have this being my low bass. Again, that's panned in the center. Afterwards, I did some EQing and compressing them together. So EQ, I kind of tried to pick out some frequencies I wanted. Another high and low cut frequency. Didn't get too crazy with those though. First, I use an opto comp because it sounds great. That's probably what I would have done in Logic with a plugin or something else if I didn't have this bias effects going on, so I just used it all in here. Here's kind of like an 1176 style compressor, it looks like. It was pretty nice. I don't have it working too hard because I have it going into another compressor. It's actually acting as a limiter. So these all kind of successfully help the necks, not working intensely hard. We'll hear the bass. So yeah, bass sounds really sludgy as always, but when you hear it in the mix, it really helps fill out that bottom end. Alright guys, I'm going to show you two other tones I made. One's going to be a blues rock tone, and the other's going to be a clean tone. After that, I'm going to get you out of here. Alright guys, time to wrap it up. Bias effects, in my opinion, sounds great, and I can see it being useful both in and out of the studio. So till next time guys, keep it brutal.